This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and welcome back to Maestro to KCCK. It's Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa, in for what will be a semi-regular series of visits.
The season has started once again, yes.
The season at Tim's 10th.
That's right.
You are not old enough to have been here 10 years.
You know, that's what happens when you're hired at the age of 13, you know? And yeah, I was a precocious child, and now I'm a young professional adult.
Yeah,
yes.
So yeah, we'll go for that. We'll go for that. And things start up this Saturday. Before we talk specifically about Brucemorquestra, I know that for your 10th anniversary, you work. I know there's a committee, but you really worked this season to kind of present things that you found interesting or had wanted to do, or
that's
favorites.
Correct.
So give me a little bit of the overview, kind of what you, when the selection committee said, Tim, indulge yourself.
Oh, well, it was never ever that easy, if only, because I could bankrupt our organization in probably 50 seconds if I could totally indulge. But you're right. It's an interesting process because we program at least 3 years in advance. And so 3 years ago, knowing my 10th was coming up, it was kind of an interesting exercise. But yeah, there are some pieces on my bucket list that are on this season, and stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do. And most specifically, towards the end of the season, we're doing a mass by Beethoven, his Missa Solemnis, which was one of the last pieces that he ever wrote. It was written after his Ninth Symphony, and in many ways, this is sort of the culmination of his work. And so that really jazzes me because you don't get a chance to perform that work very often. That and a few other orchestral tour de forces that are a real treat. And it's not just an indulgence for me. It's also nice to give the musicians something a little off the beaten track and stuff that they know is a rarity, and they get really excited about it as well.
So that's, as the whole season goes on, there'll be some kind of interesting chestnuts that we'll have to talk about.
Absolutely.
But in the more immediate future, it's this weekend. It's Brucemorquestra.
Yes.
It's the traditional concert on the lawn.
Exactly right. And I have to tell you, this is one of the hardest programs to create. Trying to find music that is of crossover appeal, that has a little bit of spectacle to it, and yet also puts the orchestra in their best foot forward because it's symphonic orchestral music.
Well, because you can't do the planets every year.
You can't do that. Exactly right. There's about a handful of pieces that work really well outdoors, and how you put them together in a friendly, in an audience-friendly way is really quite a challenge.
Because this, for a lot of people, this could potentially be their introduction.
Correct.
To the symphony, and obviously your greater goal is to encourage them to venture to Paramount for other concerts.
Yes, but you can't beat a picnic on a lawn listening to great music. And as great as that experience is, with a classical orchestra, which is a large acoustical instrument, what you can't beat is a live performance inside an acoustically tuned hall like the Paramount.
Sure.
But that being said, as a social, family-friendly event, it doesn't get any better than this.
That's right. It's always one of the highlights of the musical season. So let's talk about the program.
Sure. Well, I think everybody knows the piece 1812 Overture.
Yes.
And that's really where the conversation for this program began. And we knew
because it is big, familiar spectacle. That hits all the benchmarks that you were after.
Absolutely. But then I dialed it up a notch, because when I was a kid...
He turned it to 11.
I turned it to 11, because when I was a kid, I had this old recording, and it was performed in a manner that is rarely done, and that is to have a men's chorus. At the very beginning of the 1812, it's a purely instrumental work, but there are a lot of Christian Orthodox melodies in there. And if you do it with a men's chorus rather than just the instrumental version that Tchaikovsky wrote, it sounds extremely Soviet. Or as a board member once said, very Hunt for Red October-ish.
Oh.
And so that was going to be kind of a neat way of putting it over the top. And there are some other Russian folk melodies that our children's chorus is going to sing. So we're going to be performing 1812 in a manner that's rarely heard.
Oh, so where do these arrangements come from then?
You're looking at them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
this is all sprung from your head.
That's right. That's right. And it's going to be sung not in the original Klingon, but in Russian. And so we had our first rehearsal with everybody last week, and hearing them stumble through Russian, it was quite entertaining. But anyway, so you're going to have this huge chorus on stage. At the end of the piece, of course, there's explosions, which is a good time to remind our audience to subscribe if we're going to have a live ordnance pointed their way.
If you're going to fire cannon
That's right.
into the audience, yes.
And then at the very end, we've asked the area churches to ring their steeple bells at the very end. So that it's not just an experience for the lawn of Brucemore, but for the neighborhood of Brucemore. So that should be a really interesting thing. So, but because we went to great pains to put together a men's chorus, because you need a lot of guys, I actually wrote a piece for this occasion too. If you're going to put a men's chorus together, on my mother's side of the family, I'm Welsh. And there is a long-standing tradition of men's choruses in Wales. Back in the day when most people were employed in the coal mines, every coal mine had a men's chorus, and that was sort of their escape from toiling away underground. And so I arranged a traditional Welsh patriotic melody for orchestra in the style of Superman. So a little bit of Wales and a little bit of John Williams, and you get Tim Hankewich.
Okay.
And so I'm very excited about
Wow.
this. And when people actually hear what a men's chorus sounds like, it is such a stunning timbre. It really is going to be spectacular.
Talking with Tim Hankewich from Orchestra Iowa about Brucemorquestra, and talk about putting your own stamp on the first concert of the season.
Absolutely right.
A lot of original arrangements. How long does it take you to write an arrangement for something like this?
Oh, that's a really good question. When
I know all your life.
Well, all your life, the training of it, but with technology is a great thing. Once upon a time, you had to do this all by hand, which takes hours and hours and days and months and even years. With publishing programs, you can go straight to the computer program and you can enter it in, and so the actual labor of doing it has been cut to a fraction. The creative part, if I really put my mind to it and I have the time, I can probably rattle off a decent arrangement in about 2-3 weeks. Some people can really do it like in an afternoon or a day. I'm not that creative. I have to stew on it for a while. So that is kind of a nice little hobby. I usually do Christmas arrangements during the year.
Right. We've talked about that in the past.
This time it was a Brucemore arrangement.
Okay,
so that should be a lot of fun.
An original Welsh folk tune in the style of John Williams, and the Tim Hankewich arrangements as a part of Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture.
Should be a lot of fun.
It's this is always a fun concert, but knowing now what we know about the extra work that you've put in, even more fun.
Right, and of course we all know of the strong Czech community in this state, and so we're also performing two of arguably the greatest works in the Czech repertoire, which is Dvorak's New World Symphony, which was composed of all places in Spillville, Iowa.
In Spillville, Iowa. Yep.
That and another work by Smetana, his compatriot, called The Moldau, which is weird. Everyone recognizes the title, The Moldau, but the original Czech title is the Vltava, and it's about the Vltava River that goes all the way through the Czech countryside from its source all the way to the city of Prague. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, if you have grown up with the nursery rhyme or the nursery song, I'm a Little Teapot, that is the song.
That's where this melody comes from.
That's where this,
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's really neat. So every piece on this program you're going to recognize, and even if you don't recognize it with a men's chorus, it's going to blow you away.
From canon and church bells to I'm a Little Teapot.
Absolutely. What more can you ask? Yeah.
So tickets, of course, on sale?
On sale, you can contact our box office at 1-800-369-TUNE or online, or as a walk-up, you can buy tickets at the door. It's a large lawn.
That's right, yes. Yeah. Well, it'll be full, but there will be tickets right up until the first downbeat.
And what's important actually here is it's not just a concert. A lot of people, when we first started this, were a little confused as we were encouraging people to bring a picnic, bring a bottle of wine, bring your friends. You can even talk in hushed tones during the concert. It's not a sacred event. It's something for you to enjoy, and it's just enjoy the incredible beauty of the grounds and take in some great music.
Okay, well, it's always one of my favorite concerts of the year, and looking forward to it even more this year now that I know a little bit about some of the behind-the-scenes work.
Great, I can't wait to hear your reaction to it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So Tim Hankewich and Orchestra Iowa, it's Brucemorquestra this Saturday night on the lawn at Brucemore. Again, artsiowa.com if you would like to get tickets or more information. Tim, good luck with it, and we'll
Thanks
see you in a few
much.
weeks.
All right. Until then.
A few other things going on this weekend as well, and Bob Stewart has that calendar for us now.